Hello, this is a Bluthner style 8 grand piano that's 6 foot 3 inches long, made in 1899, and it's in our polish room now. This is the second of 3 videos. We're still working on the action on the piano, and the first video showed the assessment of the work that was needed, and it needed French polishing. It was quite damaged on the left hand side here. It had suffered from water damage. I'll put a link of the first video so you can see that. Now, it always staggers us just how the French polishing turns out. It's about 70 hours work, so it's a labour of love. But this Bluthner Rosewood veneer is so wonderful. My polisher was showing me that I think it's from about here that there's one sort of, as it were, cut of veneer from there to the back of the piano, and then here, this point here. So all of that is one piece from there to there. Sorry, I'm just not showing you very well. From the middle of that to the middle here is one piece of veneer. So we'd like to just feast our eyes on it for a while. And if you look at the first video, you'll see how it was covered over, and we still can't quite understand. We've got other videos of Bluthner's where they've similarly been transformed really by revealing the veneer underneath. So you can see even around the edge here, this wonderful contrast that Rosewood has. There's been very dark lines, light veneer here, darker here, and this is actual natural polish. We haven't added any colour to it whatsoever. So this is a natural veneer, and you can see the whole piano really has been very thoughtfully veneered. The sides of the piano are decorative too. So this is certainly as good as any that we've done. The legs always end up being a darker colour, and that's how the pianos were originally. So obviously the legs are not veneered. You had to fake in the veneer on the legs. So let's see if we can see. Fake in the lines to make it match. Obviously they've got to be very strong wood and no veneer on them. But looking right round the side, and as we're in the polishing room, it gives us the opportunity to go around the whole piano. So I'm just going to go, so the light will change here obviously, they'll look a bit different. There's that side of the piano, and coming round we can see this is the long side of the piano. There's a interesting pattern there and there. The colour is very uniform indeed, or uniform in the sense that it all matches in well. It's different colours on the veneer. And let's have a look at this leg here. So again, you've had to try to make some grain appear on there, although it's the actual wood is very sort of, it's tough wood and doesn't really have much grain on it, so it has to be faked in. The rest of the piano is genuine veneer, obviously. Looking at the front here, and as I lift up this lid, there's no action inside, so we won't see the keys. Later on we'll show it with the keys in as well. And there's the Bluthner name, the veneer on the front. So the whole thing is, quite staggering. I think that's the right word to use. Let's look at the lyre as well, and we can see that's very, very beautiful too. A bit of veneer on the box there, but not on the pillars. So as I say, they always end up being darker than the actual piano itself. Let's put this down again. That looks a bit wrong without the action in somehow. We'll look at it with the action in later on. So this is just to feast our eyes really on the beauty of this veneer, and also to ask the question, why was such a beautiful veneer covered up? We've done a similar video, I think about a year ago, where we'd repolished one, and it never ceases to amaze us at just how beautiful this rosewood veneer is. So I hope you agree with this, and if you'd like to make any comments, please do. Just say that we've French polished it, and then afterwards we'd like to cut it back a bit and wax over it with antique wax. Otherwise there's too much reflection and you can't see this beautiful veneer, because you see the reflection of whatever's in the room. So it's much better to wax it and then make it slightly, it's very smooth by the way, unbelievably smooth. That's the secret of French polishing really, is to get the wood underneath as smooth as possible, and then you apply the polish in about 30 coats. So hope that's been interesting and useful, and help us think together, why did the question is, why did they cover up such a beautiful veneer? And when there was such a staggering veneer underneath. Thank you very much for listening. I'm so sorry, in my enthusiasm I forgot to show you the music stand. It's the original music stand of that. Actual fact, the older Bluthner has a more decorative music stand, but just at this point in time beginning to change to this sort of more, how should we say, it's not so ornate as the original one, but still very tasteful music stand. And this is this slight difference in colour here on this underside. And the underside of the top lid too, same sort of contrasting veneer, but slightly darker than the rest of the piano. Just going to finish off with this side again, and didn't really notice it quite so much. The light's sort of lightly different light in this angle. Of course, the angle of the light affects a lot the way the image comes out, but I think that's really staggering. I just remembered that in the first video it showed the water damage here was very extensive, and great area around here was completely shot, as it were, completely bleached, and I don't think you can see any defects here at all. Perhaps this little line here, but apart from that, it looks as though it's never been damaged at all. I just don't know if these 3 dots here mean anything, but really, certainly the colour of the piano hasn't been affected, so that's very encouraging.